Okay, so this is another logging road, the Forest Access Road, which is different from the other road that I've taken her on. It doesn't have much real motorized traffic. Sometimes some ATVs will come down here, but that's about it. I had wanted to bring her down here yesterday, but she was really antsy. She feels really good right now. She's nice and loose, relaxed. The trail here is a bit harder on them because there's so much gravel. This is what it's like, what you can see here. If you can see the path, this is what it's like for the whole thing. So there's a washout here, and I've never asked her to go across water for me, so while I've been on her back anyway, we'll see how that goes. I walked her down here on the road, so that was a good 10-15 minute walk to get here. So that loosened her up some. So we'll see how this washout here goes. If I have to dismount to take her across, I will. Apparently I don't. Well, that's a nice thing to have. If you're dealing with an anxious horse, one that will at least go across water without much hesitation. As you can see, I haven't been down this trail, so it hasn't been maintained for horse height. So the point of this ride is mostly just to move out, relax in a new environment. Now Faye has extremely hard feet. If she didn't, then I would have some sort of hoof protection on, a hoof boot, if I were bringing a horse down this trail. Easy. Well, that was good. We had some partridge fly off in the underbrush there, and she didn't react at all. I mean, she turned her nose a bit, but that was it. My trail maintenance is mostly grabbing low branches when I can and just snapping them off. Once she's got more training under her belt, then I can start doing some maintenance trimming here on the trail, where I ask her to take just a step forward, then she has to stand still and let branches that I'm trimming, I mean they're twigs really, they're not big limbs, fall on her head, and stand quietly for that. Ooh. Okay, that was my attempt to get her to stop so I could snap that branch, and it didn't go very well, as you can see. In previous videos I've talked about how forward movement is the way to prevent rears from happening, and that's a really great example. I wanted her to stop, and she spun around and offered to rear but didn't, so that's good. But you see, as soon as I put the brakes on, and I didn't really ask very hard, we had a little mini explosion. Okay, here I'm not doing anything to get in her way. If she feels like she wants to open up, that's her choice. It's pretty clear here, and she didn't offer to. And she's pretty much relaxed on her own. I'm not holding her in place here anymore. She's finally had a chance to just chill out and look around. And she's paying attention to the footing more. Was it really necessary to go under that branch? We could have avoided it, you know. Ooh. Okay, I would like to break that off, but it's too big. If I had my nippers, I could have done it. So I'm going to ask for a whoa here. Whoa. Let's see if I can get this branch. Nicely done. What a good girl. So that's an introduction to what I would be doing with the nippers, except I didn't think that it was safe for me to bring my nippers with me. I'm on a horse that can be explosive, and clipping a sharp implement which can pop open and expose said sharp parts onto the saddle of a horse that's like this, I didn't think it was a very smart idea. Nope, we're not going fishing. Wow, we got to this spot really fast. Usually it takes me half an hour to get down there. Okay, I am really pleased with this. You know, this mare just keeps surprising me. You know, when I bought her, she was so touchy and so explosive and so buddy sour. I spent most of that ride just trying to stay out of her way. And I think that she surprised her owner at the time. I didn't think that Abby thought that it was going to be that bad. Otherwise, I'm sure she wouldn't have allowed me to test ride her outside of arena for safety purposes. But so after that ride, I really wasn't sure if I was going to be able to help her. I mean, I'm pretty confident in my abilities working with horses that have some behavior problems. But I really wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make this horse comfortable enough to relax on a trail. And here we are 3 weeks later at a walk. I mean, look, I dropped the reins. Here's my hands. I'm not holding on to her at all. She's walking on her own. This is her choice. And this is, you know, typically how I ride anyway. I don't drop the reins, but I'm just holding the reins. As long as she's going where I want her to go, I don't micromanage her. I don't, you know, I was taught that when you ask a horse for something, you give a command, and as soon as they start following through, you just get out of their way and let them get the job done. You know, so for example, if I was asking for a backup, I would ask for the backup, and then as soon as she starts shifting her weight back, she doesn't even have to take a step yet, I would release my cue, like I'd release the pressure on the reins. And if she needed another cue to keep her moving, then that's what you do. But the more you do that, the more confident a horse gets, the more trustworthy they get. And they learn to take responsibility for themselves while you're mounted, and they take more responsibility for what's happening instead of just being a foot soldier and blindly following orders. They're making some decisions on their own, which is something that I like to encourage, unless you are asking for something specific and they're fighting you about it, you know? So that's my philosophy anyway. So This is what a lot of the terrain is like up here. We live on Canadian Shield, which really means, you know, that's like the bedrock of the earth right there. Oh, hey, it looks like someone came through here and did some trimming, which is nice. Trim these pine saplings back. I've never come down this trail this far because usually when I come down this trail, it's in the winter time to go to Silver Sheen Lake for brook trout fishing in the winter, ice fishing. For those of you who live in climates that don't see ice, that's how we fish in the winter. We stand on the lake and drop a line down. And it's fun because if you don't have a boat to be dragging around all over the place, I mean, my off-road vehicles are horses, so they don't go hauling canoes around. Wintertime is the time when you can get out on top of the fish without a boat. And it's nice and peaceful, and I like it. Anyway, I should probably order some hoof armor for her feet, because if we're going to be riding on this stuff, she needs some protection. Oh, this is a little clearing with the view. This is the bottom of Silver Sheen Lake. There's a beaver pond at the end, or a beaver dam rather at the end of it. So it has made the southern tip of Silver Sheen a marsh. And I have actually gone further. Just a little bit once with a friend on an ATV, and saw the little stream leading out of Silver Sheen, and now she is doing really good. Oh, actually, I'm going to turn her around because this fallen birch, I didn't have a chance to look at it. Hopefully it'll show up on the camera. Okay, whoa. Now, if she'll stand still, if you can see the end of that, that's beaver. Okay, now I'm gonna ask for a woo. Good girl. Now I want her to back up. Nope. Back. Back. That's a girl. Good girl. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now that we're pointed for home, and she's feeling pretty good, I'm going to start setting up situations where she could explode, and I'm not setting them up in the hopes that she will explode. I'm setting them up because they are things that she needs to work through mentally, like asking for a whoa and a backup. Remember, I've talked about rearing is what happens to anxious horses when you block their forward movement. So, asking for a whoa and a backup, I'm blocking her forward movement, and I'm setting her back on her hind end, which could induce a rear. So she has to make the decision not to do that. Okay, I'm going to do it again up here once we're past this little dip here. Okay, so I'm going to ask for woo. She's having trouble with that. Okay, back. Good girl. That's a good girl. Yes, that's a girl. Woo. Good girl. Back. Oh, look at that. It's nice. That was some nice effort she put into that. Everything was smooth, and she hauled back with her rear end, which is totally different from when I was first asking for backups, because she was locking up in the back end. So I'd ask for a backup and I'd get her 2 front feet backing up first, which is not the healthiest of ways to be backing up. So her 2 front feet would back up, but her back end would be locked, so it wouldn't go anywhere. And she tried to do quite a few turn on the haunches and whatnot, but then I started to just take her off on a lead rope and to some of the little hills in my pasture, and I had her back up a hill. Now, the only way that a horse is going to manage to successfully back up a hill is to pull with their hind end first. Otherwise, they're just going to end up sitting on their butt. So that was my first step in getting her rear end unlocked. Well, let's go down here. There's a good girl. So that was my first step in getting her rear end unlocked. And this is the little trail over there to go down to Silver Sheen Lake. Okay, so back to getting her rear end unlocked. So I did that, and then I started teaching her hip yield, and actually, I think that I'll try that right now. I'm going to use her left side because that's the side that she knows. There, okay. That was a rear, so I'm going to try that again. Hip over. There it goes. That was scrambly, but you did it. Good girl. Now let's see if I can get her to just stand quietly. Stand. See, we're pointed for home, that's the thing. Okay. I want her to face this way. Stand. This way is away from home. Okay, so you see now I'm starting to do blocking instead of just redirecting, because it's a little bit more mentally taxing. Stand. Oh, I thought she was going to stand quietly. There, I'll take that. Okay, I'm going to ask for a little speed here. Easy. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so this is more transitions of fast speed, and then especially pointed for home, and then asking to stand still. Walk on. Walk. So this is part of me asking for transitions, is I want her to speed up and then come back down. And she hasn't come down mentally. She is going slower, but she's still thinking forward. So I'm going to ask for a whoa here. Good girl. Stand. Stand. Back. Good girl. Oh, she got a little locked up in the rear there. Stand. Yeah, I know you want to go. I know you do. I'm waiting for her to relax. See, she's not. She's got our muscles all in preparation to move forward. Stand. See all that? It's because she's coiled. She's not really standing quietly. She might jerk forward again, see? What I'm looking for is her to stand quiet. Okay, walk on. So there's times when I'll ask her to stand, and then you'll hear me say, okay, I'll take that. And it's because you're not seeing in the camera the muscle change that I feel under the saddle. And it's one of the great things about English saddles. There's nothing to them, so it's really easy to feel the horse. They're not my saddle of choice, but it's what I'm riding in, and a pathetic, ratty old one at that. So those times when I only stand for 3 or 5 seconds and then I ask her to move off, it's because I felt that muscle change. I felt that relaxation, and that's what I'm looking for when I'm asking for standing still. That 30-second stand really wasn't a stand. She was, you know, if you think about a sprinter, a human sprinter in the starting block at a track meet, they're stationary, but they're coiled because they're ready to move off really fast. And that is how she felt just there, okay? And that's not what I want. When I ask for her to stand, it's a coffee break. You know, it means chill out. We're just gonna relax. And I didn't get that, but she stopped fighting to go forward, so that's what I took. Ooh. Good girl. So that was me asking for a whoa so that I could break off a branch. It's just sort of introduction to trimming work that I'll need to do. Ooh. See if I can get this one too. Good girl. Okay, and we are back to where we started. Easy, easy. Ooh, oh, it went away. I was going to get a fly on you, but it took off. Easy, easy. Good girl. Okay, so when we're going through these washouts, it's really important that I stay in the middle of the trail, because on either side is beaver banks, really. So it's all just mud and logs, and I don't want her catching a foot in there. Yay, I got a horse that has no fear of water. Easy. Okay, good. I always worry when they're distracted coming up here that they might not see that sign and then get upset about it. Okay, so I'm going to try some road riding here. And we're going to go away from home. And that's just being all floppy all over the place, so this might not last very long. Trying to get her on this, there, on the shoulder. Oh, I have to turn around. There. Easy. Okay, if she presents that feel again, I'm going to have to get off. It's not safe for me to be riding her on the road doing that. If a vehicle suddenly came around this corner and she did that, there could be an accident.